Hey guys, I'm here to bring you a video on the water zone of the 7th zone event that is currently live. As you can see, I've already managed to clear the water zone, and I will show you how I did it and give you some tips and tricks for clearing it, so you can hopefully do it as well. As for the dark zone, it's actually a zone that has come back since last week. And in last week I was able to clear the very hard zone, but in this one I am not because of the fact that the enemy type changed. So my Anakitis insect killer is not helping me and my units are too weak, but I will leave the link to the last week's video in the description below, so that will maybe help you out with clearing it as well, even if I don't do a video on the dark zone of this week as well. As for the water zone, you obviously want to use your thunder attackers this time, as that's the element the monsters are weak to, and they resist the other elements. And as you can see, I'm only using level 60 attackers without even ascension other than 3 stars on Goblin High Elf Archer, and I'm just using support units, Haruhimes. What you also need is seal resistance, which I have the Anya for, the 3-star Anya, and the stun resistance, which I have glorious anklets for. On eyes, Haruhime and the other Haruhime, and then the High Elf Archer. I keep confusing High Elf Archer and not remembering her name, so excuse me if I do it again. She has the MLB Takemikazuchi for ailment resistance. And then other things I've decided to use are just the Lily assist for reducing physical resistance and thunder resistance. And then another thing I added this week was the Countess Seer, which also increases the SA gouge of one of your units. And that actually gives me one more SA in the end. So with that, let's go ahead and show it off. Hopefully everything goes okay. Sometimes it can happen that one of my units like randomly dies before I get all my buffs off, so hopefully that doesn't happen here, but we'll see. Anyways, the sacrificial unit that I use first is the Line, which also increases the SA gouge buff. That's something I recommend you to use. And then the other sacrificial unit, which I need because of the fact that my main units don't have the physical resist debuff, so I'm using Goblin Slayer for that. And then Haruhime is just gonna extend the debuffs and buffs on this turn. Okay, as you can see, eyes actually got pretty low since I haven't got all my buffs up yet. So we'll just do another heal, just to be safe. Getting focused down pretty hard. But if something like this happens to you and your units die before you get your buffs off and your defenses, you can always just reset the run, because you have unlimited tries, there's no stamina usage, so definitely if something goes the wrong way, you can always just redo it. There's no disadvantage to doing so that's definitely a thing to keep in mind. This turn we're gonna do the Haruhime special, just to increase the strength and magic of all the allies, and that will obviously help immensely with increasing the damage output of everybody. And then hopefully we're just gonna get through the turns fairly quickly. I will end up needing, I think, 19 turns to finish this off, because my units are level 60, but if yours are higher, you can probably clear it much faster than that. Okay, so now we just, what we need to do is just extend the buffs and debuffs. Haruhime is gonna do skill 2 because she didn't get a chance to do it on skill turn 3. And then with Haruhime, the Winter Haruhime, we're gonna use as many skill 2s as possible to increase or to return mana back to our eyes and High Elf Archer. since they're using it quite a bit with their high hitting AOE skills. Okay, so this is perfectly fine. So this turn we got our first special attack after Haruhime's, and we're gonna use it on Goblin's High Elf Archer to decrease the thunder resistance the enemies have, and everything else will stay the same. So from here on out we will be dealing even more damage with our 2 thunder attackers. And the special attack also just hits for a lot, hits for 200 to 300,000 even at just level 60 High Elf Archer with level 60 weapon, nothing out of the ordinary. So if you have high level, it's gonna be even easier for you. And then something that we are gonna do here is the monsters do random debuffs on strength and magic on your units. Since Eyes got debuffed, as you can see, we're gonna use the Winter Haruhime skill free to reduce the amount of turns on the debuff, which means that it will run out on next turn and we'll be back to dealing full damage with everybody. Okay, so as you can see, it's now no longer debuffed, and Haruhime will go back to using her skill 2, just to give the mana back, so we can keep using her skills. The only other thing we have to care about right now is just to not forget to extend the buffs and debuffs with Haruhime, which is what we're doing with skill 3. So as long as we don't let those run out, nothing's really gonna happen to us. The monsters aren't doing any like really high damage that would kill our 2 units, even if they're low endurance. So we are pretty much just going through this, and as you can see, I've been saving up the essay gouge until I got 2 special attack stored up, and we're gonna use them as soon as we have 2, and as soon as we don't have debuffs on our 2 damage dealers that want to use them. So we'll use Haruhime skill 3 here to get rid of the debuffs like that just got applied, like we did on a couple turns ago. And that will pretty much be it. It is possible that the debuffs get reapplied again, so if that happens on this turn, if that happens, we'll just repeat the process and do our Haruhime skill 3 again. Okay, so as you can see, it did happen. The High Elf Archer got the debuff reapplied, so we'll just do Haruhime skill 3 again. And then next turn we can finally do our 2 special attacks. Okay, so here we're gonna do them. If you don't know, the special attacks actually work like that. If you use 2 or more special attacks in a combination, the individual damage of each of the special attacks is increased. So if you use 2, each of the special attacks damage is increased by 20%. If you use 3, it's 40%, and I think if you use 4, it's 60%. So if you have damage dealers that deal approximately the same damage, it's sometimes worth or usually worth to do multiple special attacks at the same time, and if the characters also have a special combination like these two do have, you also get this combo damage for some extra damage on top. So that's definitely one of what we want to do in this run. And we're gonna repeat this once we get 2 special attacks again. Okay, we go back to our high-hitting AOE attacks with Haruhime and High Elf Archer. And then next turn, if we don't get debuffed, we're gonna have the special attacks again. So only Haruhime got debuffed, which means that our 2 damage dealers aren't debuffed and can do the special attack, which is perfect. And that's gonna get the monsters pretty close to being dead already, which is great. And then we're just gonna spend some extra turns dealing with the rest of their HP. So we should be done by either turn 19 or, in the worst case, turn 20, which is gonna be the last special attack that clears them. And as you can see, it's another combo attack because we did the double SA combination. Okay, so High Elf Archer got randomly debuffed on this turn, so we're gonna do what we did before with Haruhime and get rid of the debuff, so it's gonna deal normal damage, full damage on the next turns. So now we just... There we go. Now we just use the last special attack. Obviously, as you see, it's actually pretty close in my case, since my units are level 60. But if yours are higher, then it's definitely gonna be easier for you. So yeah, this should get rid of all the monsters, or at least be really close to it. Hopefully we don't have like an unlucky run with just damage numbers everywhere. I think we've been critting less than usually, so yeah, okay. We did manage to clear it, thankfully. Otherwise I might have had to record another run, or just leave it at that, which would be a little bit awkward, but we did manage to clear it, so that's great. Obviously, it's I have done it in the past. I think I already did it on turn 19 in one run, so that's also possible. But again, if your units are higher, which you should have the option to, you can use all of your other Thunder units as well. It doesn't really have to be the Eye specifically. So you can definitely find some other combinations. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some tips and tricks you can use for your own runs, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!